I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome Winged Messenger. Hi.
Hello there, Eric. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Please let folks know what you're up to here.
Hi, I am Wing Messenger. Feel free to call me Wing. I'm a fairy VTuber who does cozy art and also plays cozy games. Sometimes I play a little chaotic games, but that's just sometimes.
Yeah. It's really great to have you here with us, and I noticed that you've been working on the artwork quite a bit here. Have you got your commissions open right now?
Oh, currently not at the moment because I have a lot of backlog, and I feel like if I leave my commissions open, it will be very irresponsible of me to do so. Like, money coming in is always good, but not being able to deliver things that I want to deliver and promise to deliver doesn't look good on me, or
No,
it's not good for my customers as well.
Yeah. You don't want to get that backlog going, and then suddenly it goes from something you're having fun doing to something that you have to get done in 1 hour to get everything set up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I have so much. Like, I have the commissions,
Mhm.
and because I also do things like rewards that are art-based for my current Donathon, and I also have subscriber doodles, so you can see it piling up, and I'm like, oh no, I need to get it done. But I only have so many hours in a day to do it because of my injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're just gonna have to get you more hours in the day. That's all. We're just gonna expand your day to like 35 hours or something. That way you can get everything done.
Exactly.
And more
So I can rest,
and
I can lie in bed.
that's right. And more sleep too while you're at it. So how long have you been an artiste?
An artiste? I've been drawing since I was a kid, actually. But taking commissions, that started a while after I started streaming. So that was probably around 4 years ago, I would say.
So you have been streaming for a
I
while
started
then.
streaming.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I've been streaming since the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. And well, things have changed quite a bit since then. Well, all over the place. So what gave you the courage to? I mean, a lot of people, some people do art on their own. Some people don't ever show it to anybody. But what gives you the courage to show it off to other people, and the confidence?
I just enjoy art and I just want to share things that make people happy, and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like, my art makes me happy sometimes. And if it makes my clients happy, I would love to share that too.
Yeah. Is it
Other
that?
than that, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Art has been a journey. It's been really fun.
Yeah. So are you self-taught?
Yes, until I went to art school.
Wow.
And then that just honed whatever skills that I already have.
Yeah. Now I hear a lot of different things about art schools, and I guess it depends on which one you go to. But some folks who have been doing artwork before they go in say they kind of get stripped of their individual talents and get kind of forced through molds to come out a certain way. Did that happen to you, or did they kind of nurture the talent you already brought in?
They definitely nurtured it, but I did regret picking the course that I did because there is a bunch of courses and I wasn't sure if I was even going to get into art school because this was after I didn't do very well in college, and it wasn't on purpose, but it was to show my parents that, hey, I have one brain cell. I'm not very good at studying. What I'm good at is drawing. So let me draw. So
Yeah.
after like 3 years of trying to do something in college, I'm like, look, I didn't really pass a lot of things. Can I do art now? I'm not even trying to fail. I am just stupid. So
That's
I I I applied for art school, and then it did nurture me. I would say the one that I got into, it's one of the older art schools in Singapore.
hmm
So they do their best to nurture students, but I picked fine arts instead of
ah
illustration and animation.
yeah yeah that pretty much automatically puts you in a certain the teaching is going to be in a certain mode, and you're going to be basing off the classics and that type of thing rather than your own talents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which I don't have an issue with. It's just that, I wished I realized it sooner so that in the first year I could have swapped courses.
mm, mm. What did you learn
Yeah.
from that class? Did you did you get some basics down, or did it help you out really?
It did. It built on my basics. I did a lot of still life drawing,
hmm
live figure drawing,
Well,
sometimes live nude figure drawings, but yeah. And then there were they gave us a lot of space and time to really explore the topics we want. It's just that with every lecturer that we have,
hmm
sometimes they might not like your idea, your topic, even though it's well thought out and your classmates really like it and the people around you really like it. But if the lecturer doesn't like it, you might have a chance to fail.
well, that's rough. I mean,
Yeah.
when you start basing it on the preferences of the teacher or instructor, that's where you start getting a real slippery slope. And it's
Mm-hmm.
and you I've always had a problem with that. I guess with any type of art school teaching is that when you start critiquing in a way, it goes it goes beyond learning into molding, and that's not really what I think most artists would want. They'd take a little critiquing, but not hammered into a whatever square they really want you to do.
Exactly, like the cookie cutter artist, just produce the
Absolutely.
same artist every time.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that's not what we want. The whole
No.
point of art school is to be able to express yourself, be it through art or whatever you wear, whatever you do, however you say.
hmm And
But
and there's so many
I,
different
I
types of
feel,
artists.
mm-hmm,
And it just so happens that people are geniuses or can be called geniuses in a lot of things. Some people are geniuses in math, some people in writing, some people in art, and that's
mm-mm.
to me that's as genius. Some people are geniuses at basketball. I hate them because I was terrible at it, and I really wanted to be really good at basketball, but I was short and couldn't shoot. um, but it's I think hopefully we're starting to recognize a little bit more that genius isn't always, can you get the square root of this gigantic number in your head? It's it's what can you do with your talents, and I think that it did you when you started doing the VTuber thing, did you
Mm-hmm.
did you see it when you started as um, a way to bring your artistic talents more to more people, or did you start for another reason?
I started for a whole other reason,
Mm,
but being able to do art on stream and have people yet with me while I do it is a blessing, really.
mm-hmm,
It was, like I said, I started during the pandemic,
mm-hmm,
and my mental health hasn't always been great. It's a lot better these days,
mm-hmm.
but back then I needed more structure in life. I Finding jobs was really difficult due to the pandemic. A
Oh
lot of
yes,
people got let off.
right. Yeah.
So I found streaming as a way to maybe make some pocket money and also to connect with people because there was the social distancing and everything like that. It was so difficult to keep in contact with friends.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
It was
use
something else.
streaming.
Every country that dealt with that had their own different ways of doing things, and I know that um,
Mm, mm, mm.
yeah, and I can imagine in Singapore where there are a lot of people in a small area, um, trying to do social distancing isn't very easy to start with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah, and then
So everything was like closed. It was
yeah,
so horrible.
yeah. I actually was still in radio at the time, and well, actually, I've just gotten out of radio. I
Mm,
just got out of radio, and I took a job with the local city here, and
mm,
it was a blessing. And although I really wanted to do radio, um,
mm.
because the radio ended up shutting down all its staff. They couldn't keep up
Oh
because no
no.
businesses were open to advertise, so they couldn't spend the money on personnel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the city was perfectly fine as far as money went, and we actually got to go home and only work 3-day weeks. So
Oh, that sounds lovely.
yeah, I mean it was terrible, really. I mean to deal with every other way, but at least we had that. Um, and
Mm-hmm,
I can
mm-hmm.
imagine for someone who's trying to get their go out and find a job in that particular situation. That had to be really frustrating.
Yeah,
You know.
it was. It
Mm.
was frustrating and disheartening, and I think even more so for those who graduated that year. Like they had to had virtual graduations.
Oh,
I could never imagine that. I thought that was so sad.
yeah, yeah,
I thankfully had a regular graduation, so that's fine.
yeah. And you
But
and
but yeah.
did that contribute to the mental health issues that you had at the time?
Oh, the pandemic
Yeah,
and having to stay at home?
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely did. I couldn't meet my friends and they are one of my most important pillar of support.
Mm.
Back then, I was going through a lot of things.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I
Eh,
was also learning how to open up to my friends because a lot of my personal growth came in the past, I would say like 6 to 8 years.
mm,
Before that, I was just one brain cell floating around,
mm.
people pleaser, trying to do my best.
You have to get a little more selfish.
Self-love.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not. I didn't mean selfish. I meant self-love, of course. As I grab all the free stuff I possibly can. And that's what we did in radio. We just lived off the free stuff. Somebody
Yeah,
bring in a
good shit.
T-shirt. Someone brought in a T-shirt. And it didn't fit. Didn't care. Couldn't take it home. We're gonna make it a headband. It's it's free and it's mine.
I totally understand that.
Well, since you did get started with it and jumped in, how long did it take for you to get comfortable with the format?
Oh, you'd be surprised that I actually started as a face cam streamer.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't a VTuber at the start. Yeah,
Oh
I
okay.
did.
Okay.
Because VTubing is expensive, and as we all know, and I know there are cheaper options, but I really didn't have a lot of cash. So I started what I could with like a shitty webcam and was just doing some art, playing some games, attempting to stream Overwatch, which really wasn't good for my rig because it was really laggy, but I tried. I
Mm,
tried.
yeah. Yeah. But you were able to get started and get going. Were you comfortable in front of the camera?
I was until I wasn't
Oh.
because I I had background in retail,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of the time was spent smiling.
Mm.
And I knew after a while that I did not want to keep smiling on camera for the people.
Yeah. The
not
the for
not
the
only that, there's like the being a female,
mm,
being a female face cam streamer, there's like a 80% chance that you always have to have makeup on and
mm,
look presentable. And I
yeah.
was tired of that. I was in no state to keep doing that for long. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a VTuber. It's a
There
thing now. I'm
you,
gonna be a VTuber.
there you go. And you just and being able to present the always perfect, no matter what you're dressed up in, or no matter what the place you're in looks like, the always perfect outfit and the always perfect look. It does have its good points.
Exactly. I mean, well, some people can do that, but I can't. And I have a really strong resting
Go ahead.
angry face. It's
We know
fine.
what.
Okay, resting bitch face.
Yes, we know what you're going to say.
I have a very strong resting bitch face, so I don't want people to think that I'm angry at them. I'm just not smiling. I'm really having a good time. I'm just not smiling at the moment.
Yeah,
It's tiring.
yeah, it does. If especially if you're just not feeling it,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
um, and sometimes people just aren't natural all the time smiling. Now I can tell this. I can tell you've been smiling through this whole interview because I can hear it in your voice. But it really it's one of those things, and people will know immediately if you're not having a particularly good day. They'll- they'll-
Exactly. Like
mm,
you're trying to keep it together and like half smile, but it's all on your face.
yeah,
Everyone can read that. So
yeah,
no man, I can't do that shit.
yeah. It's not easy. And one of the I mean, I did a very little bit of video um, over my 35 years in media, and it was
Oh.
yeah, I did some stuff for, but it wasn't very much, and I much enjoyed rather being on the radio and doing this without having to have my face up there because it's just more comfortable for me, and
Mm,
um,
mm, mm.
I don't want to scare people, so I keep
What do you mean you don't want to scare
I
people?
keep my face off. If people really want to see what I want to look like, they can really find it if they want to. But I wouldn't. Just don't worry about it. But it is just a comfort thing for me. And there's a lot of people where having that avatar just makes it a little more comfortable for them to be themselves online. Do you
Mm,
find that?
mm. That is very true. I totally agree with you.
Well,
Like, I feel like especially if we can craft that avatar to be our most desired self,
mhm,
especially because we can be literally anything.
yeah.
So to be able to do that and to live our be it childhood dreams or just dreams in general is a very magical feeling. It's a very freeing, very liberating feeling, and more people should try it.
Yeah. Well, I think there will be. I think that there are people right now with so many different levels of audience, from folks who are,
Mm-mm.
well, the folks who are in the big companies and making lots of zeros at the end of their money, to folks who are getting along with it and making enough to get by, to folks who are doing it as a hobby, who folks who just do it once a year. uh,
Ah,
and
yes, yes.
and I think the more people find out about it, the more it's going to be. And folks are saying, well, it's too many people now. I don't think so.
Uh,
I don't think so. I think
it's a good and bad thing, I guess.
yeah, it's going to get bigger before it gets smaller, and the audience is going to get
Mm-hmm.
bigger too. I think you're going to have a lot more people
Mm-mm.
realizing what's going on. And so
Mm-mm.
I do want to ask you about that. How long did it take for you, first of all as a face streamer and then as a VTuber, to get a good base audience?
Oh my goodness, that was so long
Well,
because you know how it works. Pretty girls work on Twitch with the face cam.
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not pretty. I'm saying that when I started face camming, I had really short hair,
Hmm.
like pixie cut.
Yeah.
So I was very tomboyish in face,
Hmm.
even though I had makeup on. And despite all the cute overlays and everything, I even set up my Discord and all. It took me 1 year to just reach affiliate.
Mm,
I tried so hard,
yeah.
and I didn't know what was wrong, what I could be doing to get better, but to have a little small stable community, I think it took me about 2, 3 years from when I started streaming.
Yeah. Well, you didn't give
Even
up.
if it's just a small community.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm?
well, and now you got a good number of followers. Um,
I
to
do, I do.
over 2.5K, which is pretty dang good. I mean, it reflects the work that you've done with it and the content too, because always the people are coming back for you and being with you no matter what you're doing on the stream. Um, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I'm really thankful for that because I know some people like streaming is very finicky. A lot of people say if you don't find your niche, no one would want to watch you like consistently. Your audience wouldn't grow, and I'm like, that's not true. Like you can still be like a kind of variety streamer, and people will still stay as long as you're having fun and you really put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think that's
I
exactly
feel
right.
like,
I'm going to put that on the
mm-mm-mm.
T-shirt because I really think the more people realize that they're as long as they're having fun, people will want to have fun with them. And there's
Precisely.
there's always going to be somebody out there who wants to throw dirt in your breakfast cereal, but that's on them and not you. So now you got to tell me because I'm going to ask this question: what about the cosplay stuff you've been doing?
I see. Oh, that's a different can of worms.
Yes, yes. And by the way, it's pretty fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
yeah.
I have been cosplaying actually for more years than I've been streaming. It's
Mm,
now 2025, right? I
yes,
first
it still is.
started in end of 2013.
Mm. So that's been quite a
So
while. You're a veteran.
it's been more than a decade. Yeah, I can actually call myself a veteran now. I'm not like a little baby cosplayer, like, oh, look at me, I just started.
No, you've been doing this for a while. And what got you involved in the cosplay stuff?
The story is quite funny, actually.
Mm.
So, I'm sure you know the series Naruto.
Mm.
So,
Oh yes.
I do like this character, Kakashi. And I happened to be in one of the events that I didn't even know there was an event. It was a really old event that they don't hold anymore in Singapore.
Mhm.
So, it was in the mall that my family and friends like frequent to. So I happened to be there. And I was there with my friend and I saw this really good looking Kakashi cosplayer and I'm like, oh, I want to have a picture of him.
Mhm.
And and I saw so many cool things like people dressing up like the way they want to bring the characters to life. And back then, that event was also a BJD event as well, a ball jointed doll event. So you could see like people having their dolls on display, dressed up
Ah.
as the characters
Oh,
or
cool.
however they like,
Yeah.
and it was really cool.
Yeah. 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 So
Mm-mm.
really, that would appeal to the artist in you, I would imagine.
Yes, and also I wanted to see more cool people. Like I really thought that Kakashi cosplay was really cool. I followed. Okay, I didn't stalk him, but my friend and I, we were just like walking around and we were like, hey, isn't that the Kakashi cosplayer that you wanted to take photo with? I'm just like, oh, you're right. So I almost ran to them to like, hi, can I get a photo with you, please? And to this day, it is still on one of my socials and like I have an album of like stuff from that year and I'm like, ah yes, that's the year that started it all. I can finally do it. Like it's accessible, you know?
There's somebody out there who does not even know what they've done for you.
That is true, and I hope I never see that. I'll be so embarrassed.
Well, it really, it- to see the creativity that you have to do for cosplay, and is pretty amazing. I mean, you have to make up costumes and props out of whole cloth. Um, eh, were you able to do that right away, or did it take for you a while to get that going?
Oh, actually, for costumes, at the time when I started, thankfully, there were more ways to actually ship costumes from overseas suppliers.
Mm,
So a lot of my costumes are bought.
mm,
It was only until maybe like 5 years in or so, then I started making like little accessories,
Hmm.
small props. But
Yeah.
other than that, the rest were just bought. So
Yeah.
starting was, in terms of getting the costume, was easy, but
Yeah.
in terms of getting myself to not look like a piece of shit,
Oh.
that was difficult.
Oh, now I've seen the pictures. There's no hope of that. It looks absolutely stunning, actually. But the
Oh, don't scroll too down below. I practice so hard on my craft.
folks, I mean, really. So as an artist, though, was it tough for you to be satisfied with what you were putting together? Were you
Oh,
always
most definitely.
ah
Like
yeah yeah
a lot of artists tend to be perfectionists
mm-hmm.
and they try to keep perfecting their craft, even if it looks complete. And that transfers to like all of my hobbies. So cosplay, art, streaming, content making, everything. And I'm like, this gotta stop. If not, I'm gonna go insane. So
Never satisfied.
oh, no, I'll never be happy with my work. I'll be happy with it for 5 minutes and the next day I'll hate
They say,
it.
"Oh no, that tint is just not quite correct. I've got to redo the whole thing. I'll start all over again." Um, st- so when did you make or did you make a transition in your art from um, pen and paper to computerized or on the computer, or did you start on the computer?
Oh, I actually was a traditional artist first.
Mm-hmm.
Like my first few drawings, I still kept them.
Mm-hmm.
It's on those exercise papers you use in school.
Mm-hmm.
They are called foolscap papers, you know, where I'm from. And I've just been drawing on paper, but because it takes up so much space, both drawing on like a sketchbook and stuff and painting,
Mm-hmm.
because I do love painting, but there's no space. So I just transitioned to digital art when
Mm,
I could, and that was shortly after I started streaming.
yeah. Was it
Mhm.
was it an easy transition, or did it take a while to learn the programs?
It took me a while, but I wasn't unfamiliar with the feeling because I had been trying to draw on my phone, even though that was really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So transitioning and having my community, which I'm really thankful for, to raise enough funds for me to get a better drawing tablet, like that was really, really sweet of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still using that tablet to this day.
Excellent, excellent.
So
So,
I
so
think a lot of people, like a lot of artists, they actually find it hard to draw on the tablet and then look at the screen. Because usually you just draw on the paper, right?
hmm
So you see what's happening on the paper, but
right,
they can coordinate it very well for some artists, and that's okay.
yeah. Well, everybody's got their own way to do things.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, some people are left-handed, some people are right-handed. That's how it works. Or I should say,
Mm-hmm,
some
mm-hmm.
people are left-handed and the others are wrong-handed. Um,
Left-handed people are cool. You're not
yeah,
wrong.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Right-handed people can't do anything with their left hand. It's a proven fact. That's the only
We
way.
can carry groceries. That's about it.
We have the statistical advantage when it comes to these things, I guess. Um, so
Exactly.
so these games that you're playing online are games that you play on
Mm-hmm.
your own. As an artist and as a cosplayer, will the art of a game, um, if it's not very good, does that hinder how much you like the game?
Oh no. I feel really bad answering this, but yes, I typically go for two things in the game.
Yeah.
Firstly, the art style
Hmm.
must be pleasing to my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, just, I don't know how to describe what is an unpleasant art style because I can't pull up like descriptions from my head of how I
Right.
would think an unpleasant art style is.
Yeah.
But secondly would be it has to have a good story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd hope
Mm-hmm,
it'd have a
mm-hmm.
good story. The would you rather have a like a realistic art style with the characters, or one that's a little more fantasy and anime type?
Actually, both are fine.
Mm,
I I like both. They both have their merits. It just really depends on how well it plays into the stories. Like a lot of indie games, they don't necessarily need to have the high rendered graphics
right,
and realistic models. So like
right.
pixel art is really cute. Anime style is really gets the point across.
Mm,
So
yeah,
but for things like,
mm,
Cyberpunk 2077, you can't imagine it in like pixel art.
yeah.
It has to be realistic with like all the neon lights, RGB, everything. So
There's a reason
yeah, I
why
feel like context is very important.
you couldn't play it on the old Nintendo machines. It needs the
It's
graphics.
too weak for that.
That's right. That's right. But I watch some games. One of my favorites is always going to be Stardew Valley because it just happens that way. And
Oh,
I have 30 save files of Stardew Valley, which is a
oh my
lot.
goodness.
It's true, and it's a lot. Um, but that art style fits it perfectly. It doesn't need to
It
be it doesn't
does.
need to be super rendered. It's got that kind of homey small thing, and the expressions that he put on it are pretty amazing. But now,
Mm-hmm,
if you're
mm-hmm.
going to play one of these, super battle run around games, the art's got to be a little better than that.
Oh, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
for example, Devil May Cry, you can't be playing it in like flat anime style. It has to be like 3D modeled, rendered and all.
Mm, yeah, that's I my hats off to anybody who can draw something that's not a stick figure because that's what I do, and sometimes even that isn't very good. It
Hey,
it just
stick
means
figures are cute.
more for everybody else. That's all. I'm not going to be selling my art anywhere. I'll tell you that. uh, the uh, so the artwork does play a part into it. Would you rather what type? And now you say you play a lot of cozy games, but if I were to tune into one of your streams, the next stream, what game would you be playing?
Oh, actually, I'm currently in the midst of trying to finish Split Fiction with my husband. So we
Ah,
played that yesterday. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's a very interesting game, isn't it? That's
it is.
yeah, it's something that could have been really, I mean, it really silly, gimmicky, but it's and then there's a little bit of silly in it, obviously, pigs, but uh,
There is.
but it's very much a teamwork game, and there's a storyline that goes through it that's very interesting, and they did a really good job with
Mm-hmm,
that,
mm-hmm.
and that
They did,
yeah.
and the amount of references they put in is insane. Very incredible, but insane.
Yes, you have to keep a track of all the references as you go. It's a really good example of thinking a little bit outside the box with the games and not just putting out the same thing over and over again. So you're
Mm-hmm.
about ready to wrap up that one. Do you have another game ready to go in the tube?
Let's see. I have started a few other games, but perhaps after Split Fiction, I really should finish this Nintendo Switch game called Bayonetta Origins,
Mm-hmm.
Syriza and the Lost Demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been, I checked my last updated thought of it, and that was almost like it started 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I should finish it. It's been so long.
your your Steam closet haunts you.
It does, and like I just feel sad, like I'm uploading parts, and then I stop because there were a lot of technical issues to be handled since I'm streaming from my Switch.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people don't realize
Mm-hmm.
the technical difficulties that happen sometimes. And it's not just everybody downloads to a computer and goes. Some games aren't on the computer. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's like um, I had I had an old Commodore 64 when I was younger. I mean, I was a long time ago.
Ooh,
I had an NES, original NES. But if I were to try to put
that's so
that
cool.
together and stream it online, it would take quite a bit.
Oh my,
Yeah,
I wouldn't know
yeah,
anyone who knows how to do that, but there are a lot of emulators around, so at least there's that.
yeah. There would have to be an emulator by the time. So then I'd get yelled at for using an emulator. So I can't win. I give up.
Don't pay attention to the haters. It's fine.
Oh, oh no. Believe me, I did sports radio for a long time. I know about the haters. Yeah.
Oh, oh, true. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, they'll come.
How did you survive that? Oh
Well,
wow.
I used to have brown hair, and now I have very little hair.
Oh no,
And
Eric.
what's there is very gray. I just kind of concentrated all of it up there, and it took the brunt. That's okay. I
It's
just know when it
okay.
rains first. Um, so, what have you got some big plans coming up for the channel? I know you got a donathon going on right now, right?
I do have a Donathon and it's going to reach its goal soon.
Good.
This Donathon is because I recently fell for a scam in January and lost all my savings.
Oh,
So my community and
uh,
everyone else who has supported me, they're all really kind, really
uh,
sweet, and
that
thanks to
is,
them, I can put food on and snacks on my table
yeah, good,
and not
good for
worry
them.
about
Good, nice job,
counting the monies I have in my wallet.
nice job. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. Good job by the followers there, um, for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gotta, yeah, what does that do for you when you realize that people that you may not ever see and are in other countries around the world helped you out?
It literally brought me to tears when so many people helped out and how they were all so there's a lot of good Samaritans out there. Like people you don't even know, people that don't know you. They just supported me, and I'm just like, it was so surprising. I would never think like people want to do that
Mm.
for a stranger like me in like this vast sea of VTubers. So I'm really lucky. I'm really blessed.
Well, you've carved your own notch here. You've done really well for yourself. Have, did you have really a goal when you started streaming?
Back then, my only goal was to firstly clear my game backlogs and
Mm-hmm.
secondly do art
Mm-hmm.
and be less depressed. But right now, I really just do enjoy content creating. Like I love editing videos. Every other day I'm trying to edit a new short and put it up.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that, but I imagine as an artiste, you found that to your liking.
I do. And I think the thing that got me hooked is that have you heard of Coco Melon?
Oh yes, yes. Oh yes,
Yes, my I
yes.
don't watch it and I don't encourage people to watch it, but my husband and I call my way of editing the Coco Melon edit style. Like fast transition, like many transitions
Yeah,
always captures your attention. A
yes.
lot of silly things, that kind of thing.
Yeah, watch some of
So
that with my grandson back in the day. Yeah, yeah. That was some long, long watching television.
it
Mm,
was
oh,
back in the day we have no Coco Melon at most. We would have like what, Teletubbies?
yeah. Well, you're talking back in the day. Back in my day, we didn't even have that much television. We had three channels, and that was it.
But y'all had radio. Radio was always fun.
Oh yeah, radio. Well, it got me where I wanted to go, and yeah, yeah, really, when I was 12, the only thing I wanted to do was be in the radio, and by the time I was 18, I was there. So now what?
Congratulations. Now you just do what you love.
Yeah,
Expand. Like what you're doing now, and you're
yeah.
doing a great job.
Yeah,
A
well,
fantastic
I
job, I
appreciate it.
may add.
It's just so much fun talking with everybody and everyone around the world. Me talking to you where you're at right now is would have not have been possible when I started in radio. It would not have been. It would have been cost prohibitive. It would have cost $1 million to set up a phone line, and it would have sounded so terrible. And then I would have been
It
fired for
would have.
spending that much money.
No.
I mean, here,
Look at you now.
yeah, it's. it's amazing to me to realize that you can just go in and pick up a microphone and get in touch and talk with and just chat with people around the world. You get a chance to do that with so many people live. You don't have a safety net. I can edit. You
Uh,
you don't get to edit on your live stuff.
my safety net and my mod. It's like how in the olden days where people would be like, guards! I summon them the same way. Be like, mods, do the thing, pull the lever,
Off with
X them.
off with their heads.
I think that's very important, especially for new streamers, is that boundaries have to be laid down.
Hmm.
And it's okay if some people end up not liking you for it because your piece is more important than like a few sorry assholes that you don't want to see ever again. So
Exactly.
just do your own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And enjoy it while you're doing it. If you're not enjoying it, do something
Precisely.
else. Because I mean, it's really because it's not really helping you if you're doing something you don't like, you're not enjoying, and it's
Mm-mm.
not, and the people listening are going to know, and
Exactly.
it happened that way in radio. If you if I were to go on and there was a music program and I played, I don't know, some song I really hated and come after it, yeah, that was this song by this guy, and I guess I had to play it. Sorry. That would have been that would have sounded really terrible, and I again another reason I would have gotten fired. But the you you have to be not only in tune with your audience, but you have to be the host of your own show.
Oh, definitely.
It's
Mm-mm-mm.
your world, and everybody's coming to it.
Yeah, it took a while to form and be comfortable with hosting it in that sense.
Yeah.
Like having to wreck your brain to always have something to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
even though at the start there might not be anyone, but you gotta entertain like there's like 10,000 people watching you.
Yeah.
So
'Cause you never know when suddenly there is. Oh,
exactly. Like
hello.
one day maybe there is like, oh, suddenly 10,000 people. Wow.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, my name is Wing. I am a
I was just closing down. We're gonna rate somebody a 5.
Okay, stream ended. Goodbye.
I, I got to tell you, absolute pleasure talking with you, and I'm so glad you were able to come on and talk. We're gonna have all the links in the description for this interview. Check out what Wing's got going
Oh,
on, um, and a really just a fun person to talk with. You are, and great to be able to spend some time with you. And I'm glad it's going so well for you.
likewise, likewise.
I'm really glad it's
Oh,
going so
thank
well.
you, thank you.
And we will get you on again later this year and get an update on what's happening with you. Okay?
Oh, of course, more than happy to. It's been so lovely being able to talk with you. And I know we took a while to set it up, and there's been a lot of messages going back and forth, but we finally did it, and it is wonderful. Thank you for taking time for me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.